Now, I'm not exactly one who normally brings into question somebody else's opinion on video games. I mean, my own opinion on video games is pretty suspect most of the time. I mean, truly, video games have not gotten any better since, when did Digimon World come out again? Are you seriously still going on about that shit? You better not try to make a video about it, because nobody's gonna watch it either. Listen, what he's trying to say is that despite being a dang good game, 10 out of 10 sounds a little bit loopy to me. That sucked. If you're confused, well, you should be. Welcome to Deathloop.
Wait, I turn you on?
I turn you off.
Now, Deathloop is a damn good game. I mean, if you played the Dishonored games and liked those, but felt a little bit held back by the fact that shooting people in the face was heavily discouraged in those games, I think you'll enjoy your time on the island of Black Reef. Face shooting? Yeah. We want more of that here. Let's start from the top, though. You play as Colt, a devilishly handsome man with terrible memory problems. So me. Pretty much. You slowly start to remember who and where you are, all while being hunted by a mysterious woman named Julianna, who's really trying to keep you from piecing back together the holes in your brain. I really don't want to spoil too much of the game because it just came out, so if you want to play the game, or you just got the game and you don't want to spoil any plot points, skip to this time code below and we'll get into some other stuff. If you want the TLDR on this, many interesting ideas, very few of them fleshed out. Okay, it's spoiler time. So the main plot is that you need to kill 8 visionaries, one of which is Julianna. You're doing this to stop the infinite time loop on the island. See, what happens is at the end of the day just resets. There's no tomorrow, there's no yesterday, it's just today over and over and over again. And there's a bunch of weird, like, time travel stuff too, like besides the time loop, Colt is actually from the past, and Julianna, spoilers, is his daughter, which really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things now that I think about it. Like, they could have left out her being his daughter, and I really don't think a single thing would have changed. Like, they didn't really go for any, like, you know, emotional, like, gut-wrenching moment or anything. I mean, that's fine. The game doesn't really go for a super dramatic, gut-wrenching approach. It's pretty light on the drama, but still, they probably could have used that to some extent. Oh yeah, it doesn't help either that Colt is literally fucking nuts. There's an ending of the game where you don't break the time loop and you become friends with Julianna so that you guys can just murder people forever. That's the ending. That's one of the things you can do, is just murder people forever. Hashtag relatable. I mean, I know the main character doesn't need to be relatable. They can just be a character, but like...
Damn.
Also, it really doesn't help that after Colt finds out that she's his daughter, he still kind of implies that he wants to f*** her. Seriously.
Did you know you were my daughter when this started?
Why does that matter?
Because not knowing it makes me feel really weird.
Because you thought we were gonna...
Yeah, I mean, no.
You thought so before the loop, too. Don't remember that, do you?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And there's a lot of things in this game that aren't really explained or are super anticlimactic, like one of the endings of the game, okay? So it turns out, actually, Colt is one of the 9 visionaries. There's 9 visionaries, even though the whole game, they tell you there's 8. It's 8, 8, 8. Everyone knows there's 8 visionaries. Psych! Colt is one of them too, so one of the endings is you kill Julianna, and then yourself, and then the time loop ends. So what you would think would happen is you sacrifice yourself, and the island goes back to normal. No! You die, and somehow still wake up the next day, and time has fast-forwarded, I guess. The sky has, like, prolapsed or something, and you and Julianna wake up on the beach, and she points a gun at you and she's like, I won't kill you. And then Colt's like, I guess I better go do stuff. Roll credits. That's the ending. That's like the real ending. That's so lame. Why are they still alive despite the loop ending? Is everybody else alive? Everything else fast forwarded, so why aren't Colt and Julianna fast forwarded? You see Julianna, like obviously you can't see Colt, maybe he looks different, but Julianna sure doesn't, she looks the same. How did they manage to contain this anomaly to just this island? So the rest of the world is completely normal. Does that mean that you could have got on a boat and just left the island and been fine? Could that work? Could anybody have just gotten on a boat and left for that matter? Not just Colt? Why can't Colt summon other Colts to help him do stuff in the game? Like, you run into other Colts by accident all the time. They keep walking into your timeline. How come you can't walk into their timeline? Why can't you summon them and have like a co-op partner? Maybe they'll add that in an update or something. I'm just saying. Okay, now I gotta talk about game mechanic related complaints. So story complaints are over now. Now we're gonna talk about game stuff. Why is gun jamming introduced at the beginning of this game like it's going to be a mechanic that goes through the whole game, but it's only relegated to like white tier weapons? Like, only if you have like the worst weapons in the game do they jam. It's not like if your gun gets dirty or if the gun overheats it jams. It's just if you have the worst gun in the game, it'll jam sometimes. But as soon as you get anything slightly better than that, the gun jamming is just left in the dust, and you never think about it after the first hour of the game. So why bother putting it in the game? No one's gonna experience it. You could have kept it in the game with like the overheating of the dirty gun thing, and it could have made fights more interesting. Why is the Havoc slab absolutely busted? Particularly when Julianna has it, at least in my experience. I deadass thought that I was fighting a player who was hacking the game as Julianna. No, she just had the Havoc slab. I laid so much lead into her, I kicked her a bunch of times, I slashed her up with the machete. Nothing. She just mopped the floor with me. Now, let's see how many shots it takes to take her down when she doesn't have the Havoc slab activated. Okay. Why did they carry over the Dishonored enemy AI in this game, even though in this game, you're armed to the teeth with guns and explosives? Most fights in this game can be resolved by simply alerting everybody to where you are, running into a corner, and just sitting there with a shotgun aimed at the doorway. And they'll just file in one at a time, just bang, bang, bang. It's so easy. Give the enemies flashbangs. Give them like a weaker kind of grenade or something like that to clear a room so you can't just sit there and wait for them to walk into their death. I mean, don't get me wrong, the ways that you can dispatch enemies are super fun, but it barely ever feels challenging. One of the only ways that I can think of to really get yourself killed in this game, honestly, is to walk into the middle of a bunch of enemies where they're surrounding you on all sides and accidentally fire the wrong gun so they know where you are, and then stand still. Okay, alright, fuck this. Oh boy! Maybe I shouldn't have said fuck this. P.S. The sitting in a corner with a shotgun trick also works on invading enemy players when you're desperate enough and you don't feel like restarting your loop. To this guy, I'm sorry, dude, you were better than me, and I didn't want to lose my stuff. My point with all the aforementioned junk and weird stuff in the game is that when you rate a game 10 out of 10, you are telling me that it is perfect in every aspect. Every aspect. And it can't be like, oh, well, this aspect is 9 out of 10, but oh, this is so good that it's an 11 out of 10. You can't do that. One thing can't make up for another, okay? Great music doesn't make up for shoddy gameplay. Okay? I know this firsthand. This game is not bad. It is good. It is great even. And I had a lot of fun playing it and streaming it. The music and setting are fantastic. The weird, wacky stuff that the Eternalists get up to around Blackreef, the things that you stumble upon them doing, it's really entertaining and it's funny to watch sometimes. The time loop aspect is really cool and it makes investigating fun and satisfying. It's a really, really good game. You know, as long as you're playing on console. Get fucked. Me and everyone on Steam. Dude, the amount of frame stuttering and some of the weird networking stuff when people invade you is like Dark Souls 1 levels of jank. There were a couple times where I damn near hated this game, like the aforementioned Julianna with the Havoc slab debacle, okay? We already talked about that. Getting past that, all right, so I start the loop over, I come back, I one-shot Julianna, get her slab, I'm like, cool, time to go to my main objective, which was a fucking whoever. So I walk into her area, and there's people. There's visionaries, or what are they called? Eternalists. There's Eternalists everywhere. And I shoot some of them because I'm like, I just want to get to this lady and find out like what she can do, what's her powers. So I start killing people, and then a countdown starts. Kind of, a countdown in the subtitles is like, oh, something is at 25%. I'm like, what's that? Oh, come to find out, she's going to like blow up the base when it gets to 100%. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll run around. I hadn't died yet. You can die twice in each level before the loop restarts. Run around trying to look at stuff. Reaches 100%. It doesn't just kill you, it nukes Blackreef. Like the island where the game takes place explodes. What you're supposed to do is sneak into the fortress and find stuff out. This is like the one time that the game says, no, you can't do the thing you've been doing for the rest of the game, even though we told you could. This time, nah. The rest of the game tells you, hey, you want to run into every room with your dick out, screaming and shooting everyone in the face? Cool. But this time, no warning, no automatic loop reset. A little frustrating. There's a couple parts in the game where suddenly you're discouraged from playing the way that you've been playing, and I know your argument, I suck. Tell me something I don't know. Now, I've talked a lot in this video about some stuff. I talked about some things. Let's chill a moment, okay? Let's bring it down. I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it as I have enjoyed Arkane's other titles, which are all high quality. I think that the people giving this game a 10 out of 10 might be enjoying the smell of their own farts a little bit, too much. I think it's pretty hard to ignore the problems with the PC ports, the completely and totally flaccid multiple endings. All the endings suck. Just putting that out there right now. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I think they all stink. I mean, you got story and gameplay beats and mechanics that are just like dropped all of a sudden for like no reason when they could have been fleshed out and made to be very interesting aspects of the game, in my opinion. Is Deathloop a damn good, satisfying, stylish, loud, cool game that I think that you should go buy and play right now? Yes. Is Deathloop a 10 out of 10 perfect, flawless experience? No. Now guys, appreciate you checking out the video. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, which I gotta say, that's pretty cool. And I thank you all for subscribing, watching the videos, commenting, liking, disliking, which you should do on this video as well. And stay tuned for the next video, where I fuse with Linus Tech Tips, because I really think that they could use my 1,000 subscribers. I think they need it.